Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by the Buick LaCrosse, a luxury sedan available at your local Buick dealer. Experience Buick.
In the air to right field. This one hit deep. Miller heading back, watching it fly, and Perez has given the Squirrels the finale. Hey there, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Flying Squirrels Insider. I'm your host, Jon Laaser, and we've got a jam-packed show for you today, including our first Flying Squirrel to try out FSI Field. Squirrels infielder Mark Minicozzi is with us in studio to talk about his journey back to the Giants organization, and he's going to show you how to turn two right here on our very own field. Plus, Wes McElroy, Jay Burham, and myself react to a turbulent first 2 weeks of the season for the Squirrels and get you set for the second full month of the year. As always, Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by Buick Verano. Experience Buick. Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider also made possible in part by the GMC Terrain. Available at your local GMC dealer. We are professional grade. And once again, we've also got free Flying Squirrels swag for you. All you have to do is text 44544 to FSI right now. That's 44544 to FSI throughout the show, and you can take home some Flying Squirrels free stuff. Well, as you might have imagined, a lot has changed on Flying Squirrels Insider and also in the Flying Squirrels radio booth. During the offseason, we had the challenge of replacing the very talented Anthony Opperman, the former host of this very show and my broadcast partner on radio for 3 seasons on Sports Radio 910. We knew it wasn't going to be easy, and we also knew the applicants for the job would be many. We start the show today with a behind-the-scenes look at the selection of Anthony's replacement, a process that did not go nearly as smoothly as we might have hoped. So here's the situation, Phil. Tying runs at third base, game's in jeopardy, batter sends a sinking line drive into right field, Jared Parker comes streaking in, makes a diving catch, Squirrels win. And go.
Pitch, fly ball, caught.
Wait. Can you do that with at least one more time with some more enthusiasm? I mean, just show us like you care. Just a little bit.
And remember, it's a line drive, not a fly ball. And the game's on the line.
All right, everybody's naked. Pitch, line drive, caught.
Next. Snodgrass is on the mound. He is in the stretch, gets the sign, delivers a fastball, strike one. Well, the Squirrels are down 3-0 going into the 8th inning, and we're going to need a Jose Ramon Fernandez, just like the Bay of Pigs, man. Just like the Bay of Pigs. Ooh, a slider, strike two. Is that better? It is unbelievable, and it looks like Mac's seen enough. He's headed out to the mound now, and just like Ford versus Wainwright, I can't believe it. I never thought I'd see the day. Oh, sweet. You guys are threatened. Whatever.
What's in that guy's wallet?
Nothing, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
Next, let's just keep going.
There's got to be somebody better. There's got to be something.
We're running out of people.
We are.
Tell us your name.
Hi, I'm Edwin Cararte from Oxnard, California, and I spent my childhood listening to our national pastime.
Let's see what he's got.
All right, go ahead.
Foul, la pelota vas atrás hacia las bardas, la cuenta 2 bolas, 12 strikes al bateador. No, fue un buen picheo para el lanzador. Javier Herrera, viniendo de Caracas, Venezuela, y ahora sí viene el lanzamiento de... Ahí viene el lanzamiento, y se va la pelota, y gol.
Gracias, senor.
What's Spanish for next?
Big guy, I love you, but what makes you think you can be an announcer?
I got this. I got it.
No, let's just see what he got.
And here's the 2-2 pitch called strike Earnhardt. And we're going to break with the Squirrels down. Dale Jr. to 4.
Hold on. What was that?
Like, we got fireworks, we got to blow stuff up. Like, people like to come watch and blow stuff up, but you got to start at yes and go backwards. It's a proper preparation for physical performance. I mean, what are you talking about? Of course I'd be great at this. Are you kidding me?
What?
We're not in the baseball business. We're in the memory-making business.
Guys, I think I know what's going on here. He's got a TV camera on him. He just goes into robotic, cliche promotional form.
I'm a product of the North Carolina public school system. We're 48th in the country. Thank God for Alabama and Mississippi. I'm out of here. 1, 2, Earnhardt, 4, 5, 6, 7, Dale Jr., 9.
My name's Jay. I've spent the past 6 years broadcasting Major League Baseball games. Here we go. Scenario in the 9th inning. Adam Duvall at the plate, 2 balls, 2 strikes on him, swinging a high fly ball. This one deep to left field. Back for the left fielder, to the track, it's gone! Sweet Baby Ray's a home run, and the Squirrels win 3-2.
Well, what's going on here? What do you mean I've been replaced? Seriously?
You didn't get the memo? The ratings just weren't there last year for Flying Squirrels Inside. We had to bring in the sizzle over there.
Wow. Okay, I see how it is around here.
We joke, of course, and thanks to all the Flying Squirrels who took part in that segment. We welcome back the former host of Flying Squirrels Insider and our good friend Anthony Opperman. Sometimes, Ops, it works out perfectly in this business where the schedule just aligned for that segment. Somewhat of a coincidence, yes, we'll admit, but great to have you back here, man.
It's great to be back in Richmond. Just a lot of great memories here, and certainly enjoyed the time working with everybody here on Flying Squirrels Insider. So, when you called about this and I got that memo, I'm glad. It was a no-brainer to come back and hang out with you guys.
Well, you're not just here to film this show, although we certainly appreciate it. You're here with the Reading Fightin' Phils, newly minted as the voice of Reading, as you've been in the past. And just wanted to let people know where you are, how you're doing, and how Reading's looking as the Flying Squirrels get ready to take them on for the first time this year.
It's been a great experience. Obviously, the whole reason for going to Reading was to be able to call every inning of every game and get better at this craft, and that's been a great opportunity. Having been there before, incredibly supportive environment, so appreciative for the staff and for everybody there for affording me that opportunity. And it's a fun team to watch, the Fightin' Phils. Really looking forward to this season and seeing how a lot of these guys grow and develop, because I think they've got some players on this club.
It's great to have you here, man.
It's great to be here, Jay. Thanks for sharing the stage with me.
See, we make you laugh, we make you cry, we take you through the entire course of human emotion here on Flying Squirrels Insider. One thing we do know, and you just saw, Jay we hired for his hair and his insights. When we come back, we get the usual cast of characters back up here, and we break down what's been a wild first couple of weeks for the Flying Squirrels. Already a no-hitter, a franchise record losing streak, and one of the most positive stretches to start the year for a Flying Squirrels prospect. We got to break it all down when we come back. Wes McElroy back on set when Flying Squirrels Insider continues. Flying Squirrels Insider continues, and we've got our usual cast of characters back with me on the set in just a second. We break down a turbulent first 2 weeks for the Flying Squirrels in their Eastern League season. But first, what a beautiful Buick Verano we've got on set with us here today. And also Wes McElroy and Jay Burham. And guys, it's always very hectic in a minor league office leading up to opening night and the first homestand, and so much so that I think we got caught off guard by a very special performance, Jay. Jack Snodgrass, a no-hitter combined with Darryl Madej. So many things went into that, and again, I don't even know if we saw it coming.
Yeah, and actually I got a chance to talk with Snodgrass before making his Double-A debut, and he said he had a great spring. Well, everybody says they have a great spring. That's the beauty of spring training. Apparently, he did have a good spring, and he came out throwing bullets, 6 shutout innings. And what was a weird situation with a home opener, being suspended in the 4th inning, then picking things up and playing the regularly scheduled ball game of a 7-inning affair. So things were a little bit off kilter perhaps for some of the players, but certainly not for Snodgrass, and he looked sharp.
Darryl Madej had to be a part of it, Wes. He's been a part of just about every signature moment in this franchise's history.
And it was cool. This is the guy who came here. He was the home opener at the Diamond. He's been an Eastern League All-Star. And then he gets this moment. And look, think about this. You're on the pitch count. You know your starter's coming out. Bullpen, those guys are like fans. They know what's going on. So the pressure to come into that game, and it was neat. It was rewarding for a guy because Darryl Madej is back. He's a guy who obviously wants to be at another level. But Mac told me he came in this year with such a great approach. Hit the gym in the offseason, lost a lot of weight, but it's just his attitude. He's got a great attitude, and he's really been, Mac said, kind of a link between him and the younger guys on this team. So it was awesome to see for Darryl.
And the coolest part about it, I think, for Darryl Madej was when I talked to him after the game, he said, I really wanted to get that done for Jack Snodgrass, not for himself. And that's the Darryl Madej that we've known over the 3+ seasons that he's been here. Some of the guys then after that keyed a 4-game win streak as the Squirrels got out to their best 5-game start in franchise history. We don't know nearly as well as Darryl Madej, but really an impressive offensive start to the season, Jay.
Yeah, and it begins with the player of the week, Adam Duvall. You know, he really came out slugging the ball all around the ballpark. And I think what was most impressive about Duvall, and he may overshadow some of the other players in this lineup, the impressive thing was the repertoire of pitches that he was connecting on, off-speed pitches, fastball, you name it. He was able to hit and hit for power, and unfortunately now out of the lineup with a thumb injury.
I want to get to that injury in just a second, and certainly that's going to be something that the team deals with. But the best start in 2 weeks for a prospect, and we've had a number of big names come through here, but he's also joined by some other big-name prospects, Ricky Oropesa and Wes. We saw both of them. Ricky getting off to a slow start, starting to turn the corner a bit in Altoona, but Duvall just came out so hot that really it created quite a contrast between the two in the middle of the order.
Yeah, and I think sometimes we kind of try to focus in on the X's and O's, the details of the game. Just talking with Adam, he said, I felt comfortable. He felt comfortable at the diamond. He felt comfortable on the new infield surface, but he felt comfortable at the plate. And sometimes we try to read too deep into things, but the comfort factor goes a long way.
And he seemed to, again, be getting more comfortable in that Altoona series. And now back to the Duvall injury. Unfortunately, a thumb sprain. He suffers that during that Trenton series. Didn't know for a couple of days how long the cleanup hitter in the Squirrels order would be out. Now we do know. It's going to be about 3 weeks to a month. How does that affect this lineup? We know it makes a big impact.
Well, yeah, it makes a big impact, and it puts a little bit of more pressure on Ricky Oropesa, who, as you said, has started to come around in the Altoona series. But here's the thing that I think we should remember. Oropesa came out of college as regarded as one of the most powerful bats in the draft when he was selected by the Giants. And two, I don't know if I can recall through my 3 years in the Eastern League, now 4, a first base prospect that really had the upside and the potential that Oropesa had. You might have to go back to a guy like Lars Anderson for the Red Sox several years ago. So we really haven't seen that many first base power prospects come through. And Oropesa, I mean, this is really it.
And he really looks the part. You can see it just in the way that he steps into the batter's box, Wes.
Yeah, and here's another thing we have to remember. 12 strikeouts and 39 at-bats. What happens? You press. You want to start off early. You want to get into a groove. You try to overcompensate, try to press. Strikeouts are frustrating, and that just makes it even more frustrated. It'll come around.
4-1 start. Then they lose the final 2 games to Bowie to end that homestand. Both games that I think the Squirrels feel as though they should have won. They go on the road. There's certainly a couple of games that are in that category as well. You guys didn't see it. I know I did. Competitive in all the ball games except one, but at the end it's still a 1-6 start. And for a team that's been identified by its pitching, they've struggled a bit out of the starting blocks.
Yeah, they've struggled because they've struggled to get innings out of their starting pitchers, and that's going to happen early on in the season, especially this day and age where organizations protect their young arms. And I think one of the key things that went missing early on for the Squirrels was left-hander Chris Glore being placed on the DL. A lot of times you'll see teams use what they call the piggyback system. They'll have a long reliever or another starter in the bullpen early on in the season, and he'll come in and finish out 1 or 2 ball games and give your bullpen a chance to rest. Not able to do that, especially when you lose one of your starters early on.
Chris Glore returns for the series finale in Altoona. You still have Justin Fitzgerald in there. Craig Westcott actually coming off a short start, should be on an elevated pitch count going forward. Is there concern with this pitching staff, or do you wait and see the next couple of weeks?
I think you wait and see the next couple of weeks. Let's remember what you said about pitch counts. If the pitch counts, that also, if you get in a situation where you're out of pitch count, you bring a guy out of the bullpen, he stumbles, now you're using multiple arms. So we've seen that, and it was almost a blessing in disguise. We saw Jack Snodgrass on Monday, in that series against Altoona, he got a longer leash. He got to go 7 innings. Tom Vasello comes in, he finishes it off. So there you go. It's a boom-boom scenario, but you've also had these boom-boom-boom different guys out of the bullpen.
You see my face light up when you mention Jack Snodgrass because he comes back and has maybe an even better outing in his 3rd start of the year, and we introduced the term, he got Snodgrassed. And Jack wants to run with that. T-shirt's forthcoming. Who else wants to get Snodgrassed? We'll see if that success continues for the left-hander, but he looked pretty darn good. Well, we're already almost through our evaluation of the first 2 weeks, and I haven't even mentioned the name Joe Panik because, quite frankly, he got outshined a bit by Adam Duvall. But now I know Ken Joyce has been so impressed with what he's done over the first couple of weeks. He compared him the other day, Jay, to Buster Posey.
Yeah, a little bit of high praise from Ken Joyce, and hopefully not hyperbole, but certainly a high bar to reach for Panik. But one of the things we've seen from Joe Panik is the fact that he's your typical classic number 2 hitter, line drive hitter, not a ton of speed, not a lot of power, but he gets on base, he's able to work counts, and that's something he's been able to do successfully early on.
You take the offense, I'll take the defense. Watching, he's just learning the second base position. The guy's a Hoover. The first opening homestand, the way he's backhanding balls, the way he's scooping them up, the way he's cutting off, and he's forcing plays that could be force outs, but he's turning them into double play balls. Love watching play defense.
Looks like he's been at second base his whole career, and as we know, he hasn't been. We look like we've been here the entire show, but we haven't been. It's been somewhat of a long first 2 weeks to start the show, but when we come back, or start the season, but when we come back, we go to FSI Field. That's what we've been waiting for since we got started in pre-production. Mark Minicozzi of the Flying Squirrels drops by and shows us how to turn the double play, and also his very unique story of starting and getting back into the Giants organization. This is Flying Squirrels Inside. Welcome back to Flying Squirrels Insider. We've moved ourselves over to FSI Field because we welcome in our very first guest, Flying Squirrels infielder Mark Minicozzi. And Kaz, thanks for being here today to help us out.
Pleasure's mine.
We wanted to talk to you just a little bit, and then we're going to actually get out on the field and have you show us how to turn the double play correctly. But the fact that we introduce you as just infielder, whereas we used to introduce you as shortstop, second baseman, and someone who was going to show us that double play, indicates somewhat of an odyssey in your career, and you come back to the Giants organization last year. Just take me to where you've been and how long the road was to get back.
My career's been a roller coaster. I started out with the Giants in 2005, spent several years with the Giants, moved up the ladder pretty quickly, was here in the Eastern League in 2007, and day before I got here, got hit by a pitch, and from that day I spent 2007, 2008, 2009, most of 2010 injured, either on training tables or in surgery rooms. So finally got back on the field, got healthy, made a couple rounds in independent ball, and, went to a game in Reading against the Reading Phillies, and now we're here.
And actually, that story is great. You go to a game in Reading, you talk to Dave McElroy, Ken Joyce, I believe. They say, come on back, you look great, which you do, by the way. They give you a tryout the next day. A couple weeks later, you're signed. You've made the most of the opportunity. How did you go into that workout at First Energy Stadium? What did you want to showcase?
I just went to the showcase expecting nothing. I mean, I went there. I was about 2 weeks to go to my independent ball season in Quebec, Canada. And, I just went there and, took some swings and, wasn't really expecting too much out of it. And, big things came out of it. So.
Actually, I don't know if you remember this. I was the first person you ran into at the ballpark, and you said, I'm here to work out. And I said, I don't know if there's a gym anywhere around here. And no one really knew what was going on. But we knew you quickly. Your time with the Flying Squirrels, what have you enjoyed about playing here in Richmond?
Oh, Richmond's a great place. Our first time around, we were in Connecticut, which is a lot different atmosphere. Here, we have so much fun. The fans are great. Front office, everything is first class and unbelievably fun.
Take me through this team this year. I always hesitate to call a guy a veteran, but I know that you're cool with it, and you've got some younger prospects on this team. What do you see from this lineup particularly?
Our lineup, we have, it's unbelievable how much talent we have through our lineup. We have so many young prospects who, you can just see just bits and pieces right now that they're going to be great players and, they're going to play in the big leagues. But, we have also some guys who've been around. We have guys like, me, Strums, Mo, different guys who can bring something else to the table and, help guys in their first time with the Eastern League.
We were just talking about it during our last segment, Adam Duvall and the start that he got off to this year. As a guy who knows hitting, what have you seen from Adam over the first 2 weeks of games?
You know, the first 2 weeks is probably the first time I've seen him ever play, and it's extremely impressive. I mean, he has so much power, has such a good approach to the plate. He's going to be an impressive guy to watch in the next couple of years.
Kaz, great to have you here. We need to get on the field. You've worn your batting practice attire here, and that's with good reason, because we're going to teach you how to turn the double play. Now, there's a number of different ways a second baseman, shortstop will turn it. Can you run some of those down for us, what the scenarios might be that would cause you to alter the way you turn that double play?
Yeah, with a double play coming from second base, there's a couple different ways to handle it around the bag. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we get in a good position initially, and then depending on where the throw is, hopefully it's right in our chest. Perfect.
Well, I'm going to be feeding you, so you should be good.
Okay, so we're going to work on a lot of different angles then. But, if it's to the chest, we're going to get, behind the bag, catch the ball, and, set our body to go towards first base.
Better to see it than to hear it, although it was wonderfully explained. Mark Minicozzi is with us on Flying Squirrels Insider. We're going to get rid of these chairs, we're going to put on the mitts, and Kaz is going to teach us how to turn two right after this. All right, enough with the chatter. We're now on FSI Field with Flying Squirrels infielder Mark Minicozzi, and he's going to show us how to turn two as we finally get to use this brand new field that we built. And Kaz, glad to have you here once again. Real quickly, we're going to go through a number of scenarios, some good throws, which I'm going to try to give you, and some poor throws as well that you have to adapt to as the second baseman. And before we actually do that, why don't you just run through what you're going to be showing people?
Okay, first of all, before we get, the good, the bad, and the ugly throws from you, we're going to make sure we have to get to the bag first before we can receive any throws. Okay, so when you get to the bag, we want to make sure we get to this outside part of the bag in an athletic position. We get an athletic position, so when you're tossing to us or whoever's throwing to us, when they make a high throw, a low throw, a throw inside the bag, a throw back here, we can move.
Okay, well, we're going to start with the good throw. Or at least I'm going to try to. So I'm going to hit you right in the chest. I'm going to do it right on time. So you got your foot to the back side of the bag.
Back to the bag.
And here it comes right in the chest.
We got a good throw from
I had a
Jon
long way to
Laaser.
cover there,
wow.
Yeah.
We're behind the bag. Our feet are lined up toward first base. Our shoulders lined up. We're making sure we set our feet, make the throw, and follow our throw.
And his throw was right on the target, by the way. All right, so in the very rare case that my throw wasn't sterling right to Mark's chest, we'll start with the throw that's a bit behind him to his right shoulder.
All right, we start at the beginning, behind the bag. Jon Laaser throws high and away. We're catching the ball. Luckily, I'm in an athletic position, able to catch it. We're on the bag as we catch it. We're stepping back. We're making our throw, keeping our shoulder straight at the first base.
He got it just as quickly as the first one for those of you that watching and wondering. It looks smooth because actually in a game. As will this one, although this is probably the most complicated of the three. My throw coming to the first base side of the bag for you and leading you a bit, which sounds like a good thing, but it's not.
Yes, this throw that comes in front of the bag, us second basemen call it the danger zone. We don't want throws here, but unfortunately this happens. When we get a throw here, now we have a runner coming right down at us. And we got to make sure we catch the ball. Again, set this shoulder, make sure we make a good throw, and as we make that throw, make sure we get in the air, up in the air so we don't get hit.
Well, we know that you have a vertical leap, being from Pennsylvania, and we want to make this as realistic as possible. We didn't build this field for nothing. So we bring in Wes McElroy, played some ball back in his day, and we're going to have him be that runner. And not only that, he's coming in a little bit high, a little bit bush league, as we might say, and we're going to see Mark Minicozzi turn the two around Wes McElroy. So Wes will bring you right in here. He's coming in, not all that high. We can't hurt Mark before the series.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's coming in maybe a little bit lower. Okay.
Those cleats are pretty
he's not trying to, yeah. Those are the loafer cleats, by the way, available at select stores. All right, so here we go. Wes is coming in. We're going to go out front again and see how Mark handles it.
All right, we're catching the ball, of course. We're back in the danger zone. We're catching that ball, making sure, setting our feet, setting our arm on top, make the throw, jump over, and get out of the way.
And not lose the microphone and not a hair out of place. But, Mark, I think the key thing right there is the fact that a lot of younger players would think that they're making the throw as they're jumping. And you're saying you make the throw and then you jump.
No, we want to make sure every time, what's the most important thing when we make a play is make sure we're under control. When we're out of control, our shoulders are not lined up, what happens? We throw it in the stands, to the seventh row, or we throw it into right field. So we want to make sure as we catch the ball, make the throw while we're in good athletic position and make sure we're lined up with our shoulder and our arm going towards first base.
Kaz, great to have you here. Thanks for showing people how to turn too.
You got it.
Wes, great job as always as well. Well, as you heard it from Mark Minicozzi, it's key to not be out of control. That's not our style here on Flying Squirrels Insider. And out of control hopefully meant you got to see a whole lot of stuff today. And to do that, we had to use a lot of participants. Thanks to them all once again, to Flying Squirrels infielder Mark Minicozzi, but also to all the relievers who took part in our broadcasters audition segment. And that also includes, coming back, our old friend and former host of Flying Squirrels Insider, Anthony Opperman. Great to see him again here on the show. It'll be great to see him at the ballpark as he calls the games for the Reading Fightin' Phils. Squirrels and the newly minted Fightin' Phils for the first time over the weekend. We'll give you an update on how they fared in that series and homestand, and also the second road trip of the season as well. Just about out of time, but before we go, one final reminder. Text FSI to 44544, and you could win some very cool Flying Squirrels free stuff. That'll do it. For everybody associated with Flying Squirrels Insider, Jon Laaser saying thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time here at the ballpark.
Production funding for Flying Squirrels Insider is made possible in part by the GMC Terrain, available at your local GMC dealer. We are professional grade.